Hello, and welcome back to the Shakey Sonnet Show. I am Tootight Lautrec, the drag laureate of the Sonnetarium, and here we are once again in the Sonnetarium at the bottom of the down staircase in the permanently sequestered remainders section of an unnamed local library, which may or may not have some stone-faced, confused-looking lions lying on the front steps. And I must admit, after encountering sonnets 84 and 85, the sonnets that we'll be reading this week, I share the confusion of our poor mascots. After reading sonnets 82 and 83, which clearly praise the virtues of concise, plain speech as the only proper way to extol the virtues of the beloved, I thought it would be smooth sailing from here on out. But no. When I finally sat down to really study sonnets 84 and 85, I had to read them each at least 10 times before I had any kind of grasp about what they were about or any way that I could even begin to simply paraphrase them. If you'll remember, the 82 and 83, we saw the plain, truth-telling friend. You know the one who scorns highfalutin language, the one who scorns false painting, the one who scorns makeup of all the nerve. Yes, him. Well, come to 84 and 85, it's as if our dear, simple narrator, in a fit of desperation, I might say, to keep up with the youngsters, has gone full lip filler, liposuction, dye job with hair plugs, linguistically at least, in his approach to 84 and 85. And if you're in for a couple of, purple puff pieces, well, thank you. I like it too. And 84 and 85 match just such an outfit. So Sonnet 84 is tortured, perhaps as a way of attempting to compete with the rival or the rivals whose style or styles are so fancy as to be incomprehensible, according to the plain truth-telling friend of 82 and 83. And although not satisfying as sonnets in their own right, sonnets 84 and 85, they are satisfying narratively in that we see the narrator so desperate with jealousy that he's trying out the very thing that he had scorned previously in the rivals. So let's take a look. Sonnet 84. Who is it that says most which can say more than this rich praise, that you alone are you? In whose confined immured is the store which should example where your equal grew? Lean penury within that pen doth dwell, that to his subject lends not some small glory. But he that writes of you, if he can tell that you are you, so dignifies his story. Let him but copy what in you is writ, not making worse what nature made so clear. And such a counterpart shall fame his wit, making his style admired everywhere. You to your beauteous blessings add a curse, being fond on praise, which makes your praises worse. So, the first quatrain, who is it that says most which can say more than this rich praise, that you alone are you? It took me a long time to figure out that he's saying, with all the blather being written about you by my rivals, what can you say more than that you are you? An earth-shattering revelation, I'm sure. You are you, and there's no need to say anything more. And then we get this rhetorical question in the third line, in whose confine immured is the store, which should example where your equal grew. And I thought, what? But then I thought, in whose confined immured is the store, which should example where your equal grew. Is there someone somewhere hidden away, whose confined immured, hidden away, who has qualities anywhere equal to yours? I think not, seems to be the implicit answer. Lean penury within that pen, this is the second quatrain, lean penry within that pen doth dwell. So the pen could be the poet, or whatever the poet writes, or the pen could be a confining space. Lean penry within that pen doth dwell, that to his subject lends not some small glory. But he that writes of you, if he can tell that you are you, so dignifies his story. So lean penury, poverty, those rivals are poor poets indeed, who try to enrich their work by trotting out descriptions of lovely you. You enrich their work, not the other way round. The third quatrain. Let him but copy what in you is writ, not making worse what nature made so clear. And such a counterpart shall fame his wit, making his style admired everywhere. All they have to do is copy down your fine qualities in words. The poem automatically improves because it's describing you, and lo and behold, my rival is praised for writing a beautiful poem when actually you're the only good thing in it, apparently. You, to your beauteous blessings, add a curse, being fond on praise, which makes your praises worse. So this is a chastisement. Among all this praise, we get to the stinger at the end, which is intimating, listen, you little attention whore. You're so fond on praise, you get so silly when people praise you that you just wallow in it. You just lap it up like honey. You love this praise, you get so silly in this praise, which is not such a great quality. That's your fault. And being fond on praise, which makes your praises worse, all the things that I have praised about you begin to pale when you show yourself so silly about the praise that other poets give you. So settle down a little bit. Seems to be the message here. Knowing that you get all gaga when you're praised, oh, what the hell, let's move on to Sonnet 85, where I'll praise you again, which I'm sure will come off as not desperate at all. Sonnet 85. My tongue-tied muse in manners holds her still, while comments of your praise, richly compiled, reserve thy character with golden quill, and precious phrase by all the muses filed. I think good thoughts, whilst others write good words, and, like unlettered clerks, still cry amen to every hymn that able spirit affords in polished form of well-refined pen. Hearing you praised, I say, 'tis so, 'tis true, and to the most of praise add something more. But that is in my thought, whose love to you, though words come hindmost, holds his rank before. Then others for the breath of words respect, me for my dumb thoughts, speaking in effect. So, okay, how much time do we have, Dr. Frankenstein? I mean, this took me a good long while to even begin to decipher, and the approximate translation comes down to, now everyone's in on the game. I stay silent or tongue-tied, which is in the very first line, my tongue-tied muse, while everybody else, all the muses, so here we have maybe a few more than just one rival, all the muses write about you in their fancy smancy styles. My tongue-tied muse in manners holds her still, keeps her silence, holds her stillness, holds still, keeps quiet, while comments of your praise richly compiled, so while other people are compiling their praise of you, they reserve thy character with golden quill. They're writing in their fancy schmancy styles, and their precious phrase by all the muses filed or polished. So they're polishing their phrases in praising you while I'm keeping my tongue tied, or my muse's tongue tied. On to the second quatrain. I think good thoughts, while others write good words. They're all just talk, 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 talk. And here the narrator is speaking about him or herself. Like unlettered clerks still cry amen to every hymn that able spirit affords in polished form of well-refined pen. So I stay silent, and I silently nod in assent, like a church clerk, like a little altar boy who says amen after everything the priest says, which, been there, done that. Third quatrain. Hearing you praised, I say, 'tis so, 'tis true, and to the most of praise add something more. But that is in my thought, whose love to you, though words come hindmost, holds his rank before. Rank as if in a procession. His rank is at the very forefront in all of his thoughts, even though he can't, the narrator says that he doesn't speak them. He comes foremost. And when he hears the beloved praise, yes, it's true. Okay, you're great. But the praise itself can't hold the candle to your real life wonderfulness. And still, I stay mum on the subject. And I may not praise you as much as I'd like, or as all these others, but I'm first in line, first in rank, in recognizing the quality of your qualities. Okay? Couplet. Then, others for the breath of words respect, me for my dumb thoughts, speaking in effect. Dumb thoughts meaning silent thoughts, or thoughts that aren't spoken. There I'll talk, my actions speak louder than words. Because if these are the words you're going to produce, actions, give me the action. Because this is just a little too much for anybody as far as I'm concerned. A bit tortured. Our dear narrator is just so tongue-tied. He's even quill-tied, thought-tied, perhaps even hog-tied. He's the prince of tides. So, is there a male or a female in evidence anywhere in here? Well, in Sonnet 84, we hear that he writes of you. And in Sonnet 85, we hear, my tongue-tied muse in manners holds her still. But muses and souls were conventionally thought of as female. So it isn't necessarily indicative of the gender of any one of the characters who are mentioned in the poem. It doesn't rule it out, but sort of it kind of does, based on everything that we've seen thus far, where the rivals are definitely male, and from the first 1 through 83, seems that the lovers are also male. And also in 85, in line 7, 6 and 7, and like unlettered clerks still cry amen to every hymn that able spirit affords. And hymn sort of plays, H-Y-M-N, sort of plays on the H-I-M that we all know and love. So dramatically, I don't know, perhaps a play highlighting someone who is in love from afar, like maybe a Cyrano de Bergerac sort of thing. But in Shakespeare's plays, the only thing I could come up with is perhaps in Love's Labour's Lost, where the boys have publicly announced their He-Man Women's Haters Club and say that they won't even indulge in thinking about women, and then privately go off and write their putrid little sonnets in praise of the women who they do love and send it to them. And they're not really the best sonnets that one has ever seen in the world. So I could see these two sonnets perhaps shoehorned into Love's Labour's Lost. What say you? If you have any other ideas of where they might fit into Shakespeare's other plays, please let me know. Narratively, poor narrator. He stoops to the purple prose, or rather poetry, of his rivals to win back his love. And not only is he losing his beloved, apparently, he seems to be losing his eloquence, his clarity, and his powerful means of persuasion in poetry. And once again, all I can say is poor, poor narrator. We'll have to wait and see what comes next because we have only one more sonnet in the rival poet series. Sonnet 86 will be the very last one of the series. We'll have to see what comes up. Oh, don't get bored and fall asleep. Please join me when we approach the final sonnet, Sonnet 86 in the rival poet series. And even if the sonnets are sad, sad wonders are still wonders. So, speaking of wonder, oh look, they're all around you. Pay attention. Until we meet again, I am Tootight Lautrec. Mwah.